out and I saw it for the first time. Didn't
Oh
really
yeah,
hold
because
didn't really hold up I saw it like years later. Didn't hold up as well, but still I could put myself back to the time where I first saw it. It was just so creative or just I don't know. What do you want to call it?
right, but I found this. I went down this YouTube rabbit hole and I found a potential other way of generating some passive income. So I'm going to look into doing that as well, since it
Cool.
doesn't take much. It's not that time consuming, so all it just takes is patience and consistency. So it's just like, all right, like I said I'd give this spot a year, so we'll see what happens within that year, and then yeah,
I think
Nice.
did Dawson, Mr. Dos Angeles,
yeah,
the group dad, did he ever respond to you?
no,
What's going on with the Adam Carolla show? Some need of some producers,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like you need to
some
reach out
lack,
to Patrick.
some
They need some
lackeys.
help with for crying out loud. They have all those podcasts. They got people in there helping. They're growing.
Yeah,
Even if you just went in to like help a little bit.
word.
Reach out to Lynette. Don't you have her number?
I don't. I don't stay in contact with her like everybody else.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of a hermit, honestly.
Same,
I think you
buddy.
should apply for
Same.
like a senior lackey position there.
A
Hmm.
senior lackey.
Like,
No, I think
like a
you're
soup, like just go
mispronouncing
right
it.
to
I
like
think
a supervisor, like a
you
lackey
meant
supervisor.
senor lackey. It's
Yeah.
pronounced senor.
I don't know if they really have lackeys anymore. They
Nah.
run like a tight ship of efficient people that
Yep.
keep their head down, and
The lackey
Yeah,
era is long gone, my friend.
that kid came back. He was like, "Sir, I was poached from another job. You actually came and found me when
Yep.
they were all getting the beat down the other day." I was like, "Great."
yeah. But then and then they said, and then Orny Adams was like, "Where'd you get poached from?" And then he named some show or something that I don't know I'd never heard of before, and
Yeah, must
I
not
don't
be
know.
again.
Yeah. But yeah. So episode 180.
Yes, sir.
Lady.
All right, let me set up the timer. We'll get this shit on the
I'll be
road.
the timer. Just
Being
kidding.
recorded. All right. Go ahead, start recording the audio, senor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, three, two, one, let's go.
Good evening. Welcome to another episode of your Endless Ranters podcast, episode 180. In fact, my name's Chris. I'm one of your hosts for this evening. Robbie is on suspension tonight, this week for not laughing at my jokes
He got sent to his
this
room.
morning. Yeah, so he's serving out that 1 week, 1 game suspension. See how the attitude goes, see how his reactions go this week in the chat. But anyway, we are joined by our other host. It's the Soggy Mom living in Crunchy Mom's world, yearning to go crunchy, yearning to go full crunchy. Go back to those Vespa days. It's Guana. How you doing?
Good. I'm good. I learned how to make bread this week, so I mean, I'm almost there. Like I think I plateaued, right? Is that
Hmm.
I can
Well,
make bread. I can make bread.
I like bread.
Have you
Bread.
never been able to make bread prior to this?
Have you made bread, Manny? Yeah, exactly. No, I have not.
I've never made bread, but I've seen bread being made like
Okay.
10, 15 years ago easily. You know what I mean? I've seen it being made.
All right.
Do you have a bread maker? Or were you
No,
like,
I made it with my hands.
She is the bread maker,
I
bruh.
mean,
I'm the bread maker. My Dutch oven, is that what it's called?
well, I mean, you're still like, even if you use a bread maker, you're still doing it with your hands. Get the to the ingredients and all that.
Well, I don't have a bread maker. I am the
Okay.
bread maker.
No, yeah, it's good to do it the rustic way. But
Mm-hmm.
what kind of bread did you make?
White.
All right, then. That's enough of that bread talk. Jeez.
Always bringing race into it.
Huh? Really? For real. Trying to keep this positive tonight.
Sorry.
Keep it
White lives
colorblind.
matter.
And then the producer Manny, what's going down, old man?
Since we're talking about bread, I really have been craving a torta the last week or two. I don't know if you're familiar with that. What that is? It's like a Mexican sandwich on a French roll. Cut it in half.
Mhm.
You
Can you say it slower?
torta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You had a little extra in the first part.
It
Little
can't be
Zaza.
helped. It can't be.
Yeah, you had like a
Yeah.
th in there. Like I know what a torta is, but you added you said torta,
I said torta.
Yeah.
like you're in
Yeah.
Barcelona or
Oh
something
yeah.
like that. We're not
It
gonna be
can't be
having
helped, man.
we're not gonna be having that fit. All right. You keep that fit somewhere.
Si, senor.
Hmm. So how's everybody doing? Yeah,
Chilling,
Robbie,
son.
man, Robbie. Mm-mm-mm.
You're
So,
really taking umbrage with Robbie's absence.
well, all three of you, you're both suspended also, but it's
Hey.
been that your suspension's been suspended.
Good, thanks.
It's
I
very
hadn't
quite
even had
redundant.
coffee. And your
And
joke
because I really
wasn't
didn't want to. I'm going to
clear.
do this by
Your
myself
joke
tonight.
wasn't clear.
I didn't want to do it by myself tonight. So
Yeah. Yeah. You
Robbie
clearly
was
could have.
Robbie was busy too. So I figured, why not just suspend him anyway? You know what I mean?
Hmm. Make it easier on everybody.
Yeah.
It hurts you more than it hurts him,
That
to
way
be
he doesn't
honest.
feel bad about missing tonight's show
Right.
for some work stuff. Probably getting some kind
Christopher,
of
do you want
award
to
right
tell
now.
your joke? I feel like you should tell your joke.
Okay, well, I shared a picture of a Daily Mail headline in the group this morning at
Yep.
7 a.m. my time. No, no, I don't even think no. It was like 7 a.m. California time.
When
So
I
9
read
a.m.
it,
So
it
there was
was 7 a.m.
there's civil war going on in Ecuador, but hold on, that's not the joke. Slow down. Uh,
Slowing.
but I guess like cartels and the government are going to war, and the government had to take over one of their biggest prisons, and the prison was called Littoral Prison. So I shared the headline and said, rumor has it they couldn't find it at first. Yeah, it's funny now. Wasn't funny this morning for some reason.
Because I just read the bottom. Like the name
Yeah,
of
who
the
cares?
prison wasn't like
Yeah.
bold. It
I
wasn't.
yeah, I was looking at it on my computer screen, which is big. So it's like I saw that word littoral.
Yeah.
Like that's the name of the prison, Littoral Prison.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
That was funny. That
It
was.
was a rough start to the day.
Hmm.
Sorry. Speaking of the government, I heard you might be on a list, buddy.
Oh yeah, because I go to Bass Pro Shops.
Finally. They gotcha.
Bitten by
I
your
didn't
own
even see
snake.
like sometimes I saw that headline and I was like, man, and I just skipped it. It's just like sometimes you just gotta like move on past things. But yeah, I guess what's the government's like if you did any kind of financial transaction,
Bought a
let's say
Bible.
yeah, yeah, like you bought a Bible, if you sent your friend a Venmo and you put in the text message MAGA, MAGA
Yeah.
baby.
No, you.
Like you're just like, like MAGA hat. Like if you did like a MAGA hat as a
Guilty.
joke,
What if
like
you bought one? What if you bought like a hat? You know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
You're
They were
on the list.
reporting that. They're like scanning all that stuff, which just like you kind of assume they are already, or if they're not actively, they're just collecting it all, and then they can just go back and scan it later, right? So
Yeah.
it's like maybe in 10 years, like bathtubs are illegal, you know,
Right.
but
Yeah.
people that are talking about bathtubs this year, it's like that's how they'll
Are they gonna start coming after my bathtub? Is that where you're breaking the news to me
well,
here and now?
Probably.
I hope
Collection of
not.
water.
I
Should
Is
hope
be
like
able to
not, but
collect water.
first
yeah,
my
yeah.
stove,
If you have like a rain barrel in your backyard, like I do,
right?
that's
Yeah.
like illegal. Because
It is in
no, hold on,
California.
that's right. It's illegal for like a certain size or something like
In
that.
California. Yeah, you can't collect rainwater. Yeah.
That's
Isn't that
bullshit,
crazy?
bro. That's God's
I'm
water,
in
man.
Wild.
all seriousness, like I'm not advocating for it, but if like you told our founding fathers and like the people back then that King George was just like he was like you can have all the guns you want, but you can't collect rainwater, like but they would have been like, okay, fine, we're gonna have war anyway. Like it's gonna have to, that's just that's crazy.
My
That's just
complaint
crazy
about
to
the
think about.
rainwater was that my Berkey filters, they come in like they call it a travel size, which is the one that I'm allowed because I'm in California. So it's like small. I have to, it's like a gallon of milk. Like it's not a lot of water. They make big ones that like has 3 or 4 gallons of water that it holds, but I can't have that. You could buy it in Texas, but you can't buy it here. That whole company, like the EPA, it shut it down because they said that the filter was, it claims to kill like living organisms, so that would make it a pesticide. Like Berkey's out of business. They put them out of business. The
Oh, I
EPA
literally, I
put
have
that
like a
company out of business.
75. I have a 75 gallon, I think it's 75 gallon rain barrel in the backyard, and I put stuff in it so that bugs don't grow it. Or it's all natural. It's some kind of like mosquito dunk, something like that.
Yeah.
You just throw one
Yeah.
in there, and it's all natural, but it just keeps mosquitoes from breeding in
Right.
there.
But you can use that water for like your, that's it
Yeah, yeah,
for your
yeah. I mean it.
crops theoretically, which is what they don't want. They don't want you to have in case there's like a drought. They don't.
Yeah, that is an attack. I think that
It
yeah,
feels
that's
like
an
it.
attack. That's an attack. I wish more
Sorry.
people would see that. If more people would see it, like then it would just not happen. And people just, what are you talking about? They just would never try it. But
Right. Or they're like, why would I need to collect water? Like I just turn on my faucet. Like I think people are really that
well, at this
dumb.
point, yeah, there's so many people that are just like, why would I
It's
ever need
like, why
water?
wouldn't you?
I just go to that knob and I turn that knob and it just comes on. Like
Yeah.
it's like right out of the ground, just like nature. It's right out,
So
it's come
pure.
right from the lake. It
So pure. They're
doesn't
like,
require,
oh,
yeah, it
P.S. It
doesn't
might have fentanyl in it.
well, no, it's also like it doesn't require like an entire city's government worth of employees to keep it coming, to like pumping into my
Yeah.
house and motors and engines and electricity.
Crazy. Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yep,
Crazy.
yep, yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, speaking of the
God bless
government, yeah,
America.
I was mentioning before we get into this roll list, I was mentioning like I was listening to the latest Tucker Carlson episode, or a recent one, not the latest, a recent one where he had Darren Beatty, independent journalist. He was talking about January 6th and the the bombs that they found. I encourage everybody to listen to that. Like
I
search him
downloaded
out. I
it.
think he's doing the rounds. Darren Beatty, Beattie, I think. He's
Mm-hmm.
doing the rounds, so maybe he's going to hit your favorite podcast and talk about this investigation he's done into the two bombs they found at the DNC and the RNC headquarters January 6th.
That no one's ever heard of.
Well, you heard of it early, but then you didn't hear of it. Like you hear a ton about like them rounding up guy at the grocery store that trespassed that day, but like you don't really
Right.
hear any questions about, hey, have you seen this or footage or,
Right.
like, hey, like, and I think a big part of his story as he tells it is, isn't that weird that they will frame January 6th as the insurrection, like worse than 9/11 and all this stuff. But they never add like the bombs to that narrative. Like they never like add that to like
Right.
heighten the insurrectionness of it all.
Right.
They just don't want to do it. And like, another one was like even Fox News doesn't ever ask about, hey, whatever happened to those? Did you guys ever
Right.
find anybody? Like
That's how you know they're all in the same
fingerprints,
bed.
anything? It's pretty clear that yeah, it's pretty clear that was
Yeah.
it seems like that was planted by somebody. And there's a lot more
Maybe
to
when
it.
they say worse than 9/11, they mean in as far as the government's involvement.
Yeah, it could
Maybe
be.
that's what they mean by that.
It could be. Yeah. Yeah. It's like it wasn't the Saudis and it wasn't the
Yeah.
Saudis and their government this time. It was just,
Yeah.
yeah. No, but yeah, that Fox News doesn't ask questions about it. It's just kind of off limits to like, except for like a handful of independent journalists that keep doing FOIA requests and writing stories about it. Yeah. Very crazy. Very crazy.
Weird times we're living in.
It is.
I saw a headline that said that CNN has to run their headlines past like some Israeli, what is the watch that has to be inclusive. Like they run it past the Israeli version of that. It's
Oh, what do you
crazy.
mean? Like, oh, they have to run it
The
through like a filter of is this okay to say about Israel or Jews or
Yeah,
whatever? Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Not just because one group of people want to control the narrative, like their narrative very much, but also also because CNN's just like, hey, it's just a lot easier to play ball.
Yeah.
Just a lot easier to like, yeah, just to clear it before we take any risks on
Yeah.
on this particular subject.
Right.
Not
Right.
here though. We give you honest reporting about the tunneling.
Oh boy.
It's what it's
Just
just
the tunneling, only the
Just the
underground
tunneling,
activities.
only the
Only the
underground activity.
yep. Nothing, none of the Hollywood activities, none of that.
Nope.
Just the
No time
digging,
for it.
just the
No
Brooklyn
time for it.
digging.
Did we hear about Chelsea Handler's little dig? Speaking of digging at Joe Coy, she told like her final one of her
I didn't
jokes. What
I didn't seek him out, did you?
I
she got
didn't
like a
listen to it.
huge
Was it good
laugh.
or what? Was
She
it?
got a huge laugh, and she said the punchline to that huge laugh was that her writers wrote, "Oh, thanks for laughing. My writers wrote that." A little
Mm.
felt like a
Uh,
little
so
dig
it was
at
like
Joe
real
Coy.
subtle. Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
curious because I saw a couple headlines that said that kind of questioned whether she did or not. And
Right.
I don't really believe anything anybody. It's like hard to believe anything you see anywhere. So it's like
Right.
even if they say something terrible about Chelsea Handler, it's kind of like
Right.
be
I heard
careful.
it on a podcast that loves Chelsea Handler. So I'm on both
Ah,
sides of
gotcha.
this fence. And so
I
they've
gotcha.
said it in like a funny way. Like, oh, can you believe she said that about him? Like a little dig.
Yeah.
So they thought it was cool.
I don't know. I would suspect that if Joe Coy had writers, they probably were like maybe her writers too. They're like in the same circles, maybe. So is she
Well, I
defending
think
them
he
or
had, I think his joke, like when he got the booze at whatever award show he was doing, he blamed it on his writers, and a lot of people took like that was what they were upset about, was that he blamed it on the writers instead of like maybe his delivery or timing or whatever it was. He blamed it on the writers, so the
Hmm,
writers were upset about it. So her backing the writers, I think, gave her some sort of writer street cred. I don't know.
yeah.
Right, a street
I'm
cred.
only pretending like I know about this stuff. I don't know.
I feel
The
about the
me.
same. I feel about the same about those two people that I did before this conversation. Like pretty much like Joe Coy still, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously could make some, obviously he's done very well.
Mhm.
Chelsea Handler, not a fan.
Yeah. She's
That's
got
all.
nice boobs though. I saw her skiing topless. It's fine.
Yeah, I saw that
Fine.
picture too.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yep.
It's all good. Perfect.
There's
Everybody hope everybody's
I don't think
happy.
any American male is like not, if you're on social media, like they made sure that you saw that picture.
Okay.
That was a psyop, bro. That's what it
You
was.
know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Got it.
I actually want to know about this coffee table book idea that you've been brainstorming, Christopher.
Oh, what was it? Yeah, it's got a lengthy title.
Here, hold on. I have it handy.
No, it's good.
Non-racist thoughts about things that may or may not be racist and thought-worthy.
Yeah. I mean, I have thoughts
Yeah.
sometimes, and just to be clear, I'm a person. I consider a person of mixed race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My dad is a Korean man, like literally fresh off the airplane. I was gonna say,
Right.
but like,
Yeah.
and my mom is a of mixed European descent on the east coast of the country of that no one really knows where we came from. We just always been here, kind of thing.
Just from the general
It's
east.
just been all around this like area.
Right.
No one really, and like not terribly important because no one really kept a lot of records.
Did you ever go out and purchase one of those 23andMe or whatever DNA?
Oh hell no.
No,
I didn't
you're
even
not.
register this mini bike, man. I apparently I'm supposed to register for the title with the state of Texas,
I
but it's
told
like
you.
this thing's on the magnet on the fridge. I'm like, no, I'm never.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't
So,
catch me, motherfuckers.
I know. I don't even own this mini bike. I know that's not what I told the Academy guys when I was trying to check out that I had paid for it. But as far as the state of
oh
tech,
my
the
God.
government goes, I don't know where it went. Probably shouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the coffee
It's in
table
a
book.
field somewhere, never on the street. It's for your farm. Remember, you're a farmer.
Oh,
Cattle
yeah,
farm.
that's I did.
Your cattle ranch.
I did say, like, I don't need to register this bike. It's not going to go on the streets. I'm taking this bike directly to a farm. Said that to these people.
They were like, don't care.
Yeah, they were just blank stare. Like the Jeff, the manager, said that you can't leave.
Like, damn it, Jeff.
If I lived in California, I wouldn't even have paid for the bike. I'd have just,
Why would you? Why would you? Every time we go to a store, Bill's like, I could just leave with this whole basket. I'm like,
so I'd just be like, I would threaten
did
the
you?
worker. I'd be like, you better help me steal this bike, or I'm going to tell him that you tried to stop me from stealing this bike. How about that?
Oh, it's crazy. So crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, just have a, we were talking about in the happy hour just about like the Asian racial hierarchy and how like my Korean parents had, thoughts about other Asians,
Hmm.
groups of Asians and whatnot, and where everybody ranked. So, but those types of things are just, a lot of, yeah, trust me,
Is that what
20
inspired
20.
this book?
It's probably what inspired a lot of my thoughts in life, just just seeing and hearing just different conversations, and we're just witnessing conversations in languages I don't understand.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, because your dad was probably talking to your stepmom in Korean,
Yeah,
right?
just being like, we're gonna go and have a dinner with so and so. Like they would always say they would describe, because I couldn't ever like remember their names, like the parent, like the just it was just not like the Asian names. I could not remember them. We were
Hmm.
kids. They just were, they're just very different. So they would just call the adults like by like the kids' names, like they're um Jimmy's Jimmy's parents. So we would never like know the parents' names. We would just know that by like the kids' parents.
Mr.
Right.
and Mrs. Jimmy.
Like Jimmy's
People
parent,
call me
Jimmy's
Kylie's mom
mom.
all the time.
Yeah,
I've
that
had
was
Starbucks kept Kylie's mom.
yeah, it's not
So
uncommon. It's not uncommon like, in like, whatever Anglo culture, but for us, like that was like how they would describe people like out of necessity. Like
right.
because we could just never know like what their name, like the last name, first name, none of that we could remember. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about, but
Mhm.
yeah, and they would be like, yeah, let's go, we're gonna do that. And what we'd do is we'd wind up going to like a laundromat, but
Uh-huh.
then the people would have like a fucking like, geez, they would have like a full on living room and like TV, like dining room, and like the back of a laundromat because they'd spend so
Yeah.
much time there.
Right.
This is like the 80s, like Korean business owners, laundromats, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'd have like we just be like eating in like the back of the laundromat. And then if to like for entertainment as us kids, we're like looking like what do we do now? Like as the grown-ups are talking, we go out this door and there'd just be like a laundromat. Just be like
Running
just
around.
strange yeah, cultural differences. That's all.
My friend had immigrant parents and they owned a restaurant. And then the back of the restaurant was a
Was it good
full
food?
room house. Yeah. French
Yeah.
full like house with like a
Yeah.
TV and a couch and a bed in case they slept there that night or but their family was close because all of their time was spent at the restaurant. So they had a place for their family to be too. So
Yeah. Yeah, like I think that maybe like my pragmatism kind of comes from that, where it's just like do what makes sense. And yeah, for
right.
them it was a no-brainer. It was like such a huge savings.
Yeah,
And whoever
for
had
sure.
to stay there could just like live there and sleep there. I'm not even sure it's
Yeah,
legal now,
Hmm.
probably not.
but
Yeah,
yeah, for that versus driving,
right. Or maybe he had that one uncle that
driving
didn't
back and
have a
forth.
family and you just put him there. That's
Oh
where he
yeah.
stayed. Family took care of each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was a difference.
Maybe.
But maybe yeah, just have all these I probably shouldn't get into them on air.
No, let's not do
Put them
that.
in a book, put them in
The
print where no
times
one
they
will
are
ever
a
read.
changing, right?
You put them in print where no one ever read them.
Exactly. So I want to know about these cargo ships, man. And another reason why not to go on the cruise ship is they started chasing them down.
Oh, that'd be pretty wild if these what are
Or
they
being chased down. It's just like, just asking for trouble. It's like,
I'll tell you what, if I was a Houthi rebel,
that whole thing's
Yeah.
crazy,
and
dude.
not from Star Wars, talking from the Middle East, a country called Yemen.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to be clear for our audience, not this is not a Star Wars
What's
discussion.
interesting about
I
Yemen,
would
I
come
think
over
most
here.
people's
I would
knowledge
come
that
over here.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I would come over here to the Caribbean and start like raiding like Norwegian cruise ships because they're not prepared at all, are they?
Well, they're doing Disney cruise ships. Pirates are chasing down Disney cruise
Oh, that would
ships.
be. I mean, again, they're bad. They're the enemy. But if you were them and you could capture a Disney cruise, like the brand new flagship Disney cruise ship in the Gulf of Mexico,
Mm.
Yeah.
that'd be like a huge victory.
Yeah.
You could get all kinds of. It would be like Die. I'm
Wha-
gonna stop talking because this is like Die Hard, whatever the latest Die Hard's gonna be.
Die hard on a
Aw.
boat.
Yeah,
No,
because Die Hard
stop.
can't be. It can't be. Hans is dead. Die Hard's already done like the Russians, the Asians, like
But they're in
Africa,
the Red Sea,
everybody.
man.
Well, yeah. Now the next Die Hard's going to be Houthi rebels that come over here and take a Disney ship.
Mm.
Yep. And John
I'm telling you.
McClane. Or no, I guess.
Well,
Oh yeah,
he's
John
done.
McClane's son. Yeah, never mind.
He's done. No
I
more
guess they'll have
movies
to
for
create a
him.
whole new character for this idea.
Yeah. Can you imagine between that 9-month cruise that crossed I don't know where the frick they crossed Jeremiah's Passage or something like that? I mean, they were on a cruise. Like you picture a cruise, like you're laying on a Lido deck and you're getting like all you can eat lobster, bisque, and like sent to the room at midnight. Like my idea of a cruise is like getting food sent to the room in the middle of the night. And these people are
Really?
like, yeah.
Bisque?
Well,
Specifically Bisque?
I mean, you can't get lobster bisque all the time. You know what I mean? And like if
You get it at midnight? Yeah.
I would absolutely.
Not worried about like causing upset stomach or anything like that. A little late for dairy, like that much dairy cream.
No, I'm good with dairy. For
Okay.
whatever reason, I am like a dairy queen. Literally. Love it.
I'm
I
sorry,
love it.
what?
Full milk.
You need to make money off that ad.
When I go with my daughter, like to get special coffee, she always orders like some sort of not milk. And she's like, "Oh, there you go with your real cow milk." Like I'm like, full, give me all the full fat. I love it.
Exactly. Is the superior choice.
Oh yeah,
It's
the
called
milkman's
Drake's
talking here.
Passage. Drake's Passage.
Former.
That's what these people were crossing on a 9-month cruise. They crossed Drake's Passage on a boat that is
A
like the equivalent of a
nine-month
Spirit
cruise.
airline flight.
Where's the Jake's Passage though? Is that one of these
Drake's
adventure
Passage.
It's like where
Drake?
all the waters meet.
I think
Yeah,
that's
but that's one
down.
of those. That's
It's
one
the
of
only
those
path into like
cruises.
Antarctica. It's a 9-month. They're on the boat for nine
Oh yeah, in
months.
between South America and Antarctica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that
they're like, people are on this boat filming, the captain saying, "This is your captain speaking. Please don't be alarmed." But you see like waves, like just blowing over. Like,
I've seen stories about that because they've made some documentaries or there've been some series about there are cruise ships, not 9 months, cruise ships that are like I wouldn't say they're even cruise ships. They're much smaller, but they have nice rooms for the guests, passengers, and it's maybe like a couple weeks, but they go to like pretty dangerous places, like pretty off, pretty like places where you would need a serious boat ship to
yeah.
get to, and there are risks involved in that, and they know it, and that's kind of part of the whole thing is like, yeah, this is
Right.
not the safest.
When this
If you
9-month
get hurt,
cruise
you're a
thing
long
popped
way
off.
away from anywhere that can help you.
Yes.
Fuck that
Yes.
noise.
Right?
I'd be okay with
You
that
couldn't
as
make
I'm
me.
older, but like, with like kids.
Back in your
or if you have
20s when you're partying and shit, you're just like, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, like if
No
you don't have
way.
responsibilities or dependents, that's one thing. But yeah,
Mhm.
if you've got kids or you have a family, I wouldn't take them on that. But when they're all fine, it's
Go
like
on
that'd be a hell of
TikTok
an
and put
adventure.
in like 9-month cruise, Drake's Passage. These videos are horrifying. Like it's
Mm.
unbelievable. You couldn't. I was unsure about the cruises before, but those Corolla cruises, like I was always like, oh, I feel like I could do that. Not anymore. You couldn't pay me to go on one. You couldn't
Well, the
give me
real,
$1 million to get me on a bike. Oh, nope, not for
what
me.
if there were pirates? Because
That's the other
that's what
thing.
I'm
That's the
suggesting.
other thing. Pirates
Hmm.
too. I saw pirates. They were on a Disney cruise, and the people are filming pirates chasing their cruise ship. They're in like a
That's got to be
small
over.
boat.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a capture. You know what I mean? Like worth the risk if you're a Houthi rebel. Like that's what I'm saying. It's
All of the comments are like, "Oh, they're taking this Pirates of the Caribbean cruise." Like,
To the next
oh,
level.
seriously,
like
on Disney.
this is awesome.
It's one hell of a cosplay they're putting on.
I'm not leaving
Yeah.
my house. I am not leaving my house. Like, this is no, no,
Uh,
no.
It's
TikTok is
okay.
I'd probably take a cruise again. I think we're probably going to go somewhere this summer that's, you know, in my in my filter, like in my filter, not safe, but we'll go somewhere probably, popular
out of
and
the country.
maybe.
Aren't you guys having a civil war in Texas? Like, isn't there like some sort of standoff that you
Oh
should
man,
be already at the border?
there's a Texican standoff, I tell you. Texican
Another one.
standoff. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, the Texas, I mean, this is if you listen to Tim Pool, like if you listen to Tim Cast the last couple years, like this is
I
like
listen.
this
It's your
is like
favorite show, huh?
this is getting him all excited. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I listen to it like 2 or 3 times a week now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting them all excited because it's like it's a scenario where there's Texas National Guard went to the border, which is like a state park, but a state park that's on the border that the federal government usually kind of controls or has access, full access to control the area, and it's just a crossing point. I don't know
yeah,
why. Maybe it's just like shallow there or whatever. It's
yeah.
just a crossing point, and the Governor Abbott, I think, also like this is kind of what you get when you have a weak president because it could be the other
Uh,
side. Like it could be, I could be like an immigration attorney that's outraged by this, but that's kind of
right,
what you get when you have a Joe Biden who's got like all kinds of fires, like Manny's background, like
right.
Manny's Joe Biden, like all kinds of fires.
Yeah, he
Like,
doesn't care. He's like,
what are you gonna
oh,
do?
a
What are you
plane.
gonna do?
I just chartered a plane to Chicago. Like, he gives no fucks. He
Like,
does
what's
not
Biden gonna
care.
like? Biden, like, he's got so many things going on. What's he gonna do? Like, start a war with the Texas National Guard? Who? So anyway, the Texas National Guard is basically taking control of the state park. Governor's orders, um, full backing of the Texas Attorney General, who's like suing the Biden administration. And he's being more aggressive in like legal action against the federal government and putting up the border, like the float things. What do they call them? Like the river, floating river borders. They're
Okay.
still up
Well,
there. They're still up there in large parts of the Rio Grande,
Yeah.
between Texas and Mexico. They've put up like tons of barbed wire, and they're just not letting people over through that
Right.
area now. So word is that they're just going to another spot. It's just
Right.
it's like
Well,
okay,
there's
well
all kinds of
that's
videos
not
on
a
TikTok
reason
of
not to
people
do it.
fighting. They're like fighting each other. Like, there's like two different
Yeah,
law enforcement forces fighting, and then there's people like sneaking in while they're fighting. It's the weird,
yeah.
like, who's filming this? Like, it's the craziest. Like, why am I seeing this on
It's just
TikTok? It's
it's just
nuts.
it's going to be mayhem too because I don't believe that there's going to be a period where there's just people still coming and trying to get through, and
Right.
there's going to be human mayhem. And I just don't believe that like the Texas National Guard soldiers, whatever, commanders, Texas Rangers are going to just sit there and watch people die. They are going to try to like,
Right.
I mean, to be like minimal efforts to try to like get people through that seem to be distressed,
Yeah.
like children that
Well,
seem to be in danger. Because again, like what people don't realize, I hope people realize like that live in northern areas or in other areas that like the Texas National Guard is full of guys with like, that have the last name Gonzalez and
right.
Ruiz and like just it's not a bunch of like Texas white
They're
hit
taking over.
cowboys that are
They're
doing
taking over for
this.
the Karens.
It's like because you read it, it's like the commander of the Texas National Guard, Luis Oliveira, is like saying, it's like that's not his name, but it's like you're just like, oh, okay, yeah. It's like wow, there's It's not like a racial thing. It's like
Well,
a
did you hear that
it's like a
Sarah
public
Huckabee
safety.
Sanders is sending over her National Guard too, like to support?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's
did
a
you hear
pre.
that Trump thing that
That's kind of what
she
has
put
to
in her book?
happen. That has to happen. No, no.
I guess when she was in um, North Korea, Kim Jong was like giving her the eyes, the googly eyes. And in her book, she said that Trump in the limo on the way back said, "Your husband and your kids will miss you, but you're gonna have to take one for the team."
I love that because if you're
That
from
was so
CNN,
perfect.
if you're from CNN or the Ron DeSantis camp, you're just like, how dare he suggest such a thing? But
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
that's exactly what I would say to my friend if I was the president.
Totally.
You know,
Totally. If you
it's
were in
like,
an uncomfortable situation and Kim Jong Un was giving you the
yeah,
googly eyes,
if I
like,
was the
sorry, babe.
president, if I was the president of the United States, and in this scenario, Manny was Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and
Yes.
Kim Jong Un was like, "Hey, your friend Mole Man there."
So hot.
I'd be like, Manny, man. So yeah,
Oh,
I can understand the joke.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
And I love it because it's like,
Ooh.
I swear that is what's happening now. Like, like
She
CNN
put
would
that
take
in her book.
what CNN would take everything he says literally,
mhm.
like every single thing, like, um,
Yeah.
like there's a
Oh,
lot of like Team DeSantis people that are doing that now too. It's really gross, really
yeah.
gross. But they're just mad because their guy's about done. But like taking like quoting every single crazy thing he says and having a can you believe is this what you want, like that kind of thing. It's like, oh, you sound like
Yeah.
Jim Acosta or
Yeah.
Brian Stelter now.
The high heels, it makes you cranky.
It's a real bad look.
When your feet hurt, it just makes you a bitch.
Yeah, and then they'll like make such a bad look because like some of his influencers will like post a picture about Trump and make a comment about his physical appearance or something or
Syphilis.
stature.
Syphilis now. He's got
Oh yeah.
syphilis.
But even before that part, they would just make some
I mean, what do you expect when you go running around grabbing pussies? You're bound to fucking catch syphilis.
I
So
mean, you would definitely have it on your hand. You would
mhm.
absolutely, if you're grabbing pussy, that's
Yeah,
where
my
it would
joke
be.
was like
Makes
it's
sense.
funny how fast that Democrats were like, that's syphilis. You know what I mean? Like ease up,
they're like, "Are
like
you an expert on this? How would
they're
you know
like,
so
oh,
fast?"
uh yeah, let me Google it. I have no idea. I have no idea what syphilis looks like. Did I say syphilis? Who said I didn't say it? Did you say that? I didn't say it. I'm like, let me see what that might look like. What red lesions, what that might, you know,
That's so funny.
yeah, that's my take on that.
That's funny.
It's also like it's so stupid too because I guess syphilis you could just take a pill.
Mhm.
So like you're telling me like,
Yeah, he can't get that.
the guy
Oh
is
my
like just
goodness.
doesn't have a doctor.
Yeah, he's not me, for the love of God.
Yeah.
Wait, I
So
thought that he always had a doctor with him rolling, kind of like a security
Yeah,
detail, always on them 24/7.
his doctor brings him buckets of KFC, obviously.
yeah, I
Oh,
don't
you're talking
know.
about Dr. Feelgood. I'm sorry. I thought like an actual doctor.
He's got a gold tooth.
But yeah, so the cargo ships, yeah, there's like in the Middle East, there's Houthi rebels,
Missiles.
which is you got to look that up for yourself because I guess Yemen as a country is in civil war. So
Mhm.
there's like Yemen, maybe some sheiks or something that control part, and then there's rebels that control another part, which including the capital. So they talk about like the Yemen and Houthi rebels. Like I'm just like, well, what is that? Who is this a country? Like who controls that country? I
I
don't
was
know.
just gonna say
It's
that
very
like
confusing. Yeah.
America's most knowledge about Yemen is that's where Ross flew when him and Rachel broke up. He went to Yemen.
Oh,
Remember?
that no, I didn't. I was thinking of like they did like, isn't there? Wasn't there
Oh
was a
my
movie
God.
called The Salmon Fishing?
Right? No, I don't know that I haven't seen that like as a
I can't say that
conspiracy
I've
or
heard.
anything, but
Yeah.
that's exactly where Ross flew when he broke up with Rachel on, remember
Yemen.
there was like the airport scene where he was
Right, right,
going,
right.
it was Yemen. There was a flight
Vaguely.
to Yemen.
Vaguely.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the theory? What's the conspiracy theory on that? What?
I don't, that's my own. I've made it up. I'm
Oh,
like,
oh,
well,
okay.
Matthew Perry was like,
Fresh one.
whatever, like this big Matthew Perry, whatever he was doing. And now all we know about Yemen, which a couple months ago, like when the stuff was popping off and I guess it was a couple of years ago, the Ukraine stuff, people on the crunchy stuff were saying, keep your eye on Taiwan and keep your eye on Yemen. And I
Yeah,
was
I think
like,
the
okay,
Yemen, like that war, they've been in civil war for a number of years.
right.
It's just
We should have
hard
the
for us.
ambassadors on. I don't know
It's
how
hard
any
for
of it works.
Americans. It's hard for Americans to like, at least my age, maybe not for older, like people that are in their 90s or something, but it's hard for me to like comprehend, you know, what these countries are going through. Because I guess Yemen, there's like half the country is controlled by, I guess, Yemen, but then the other half, including the capital, is controlled by these rebels. But it's
I
like,
mean,
wow,
there's been a
that
civil
seems
war in the
kind of,
Congo for like, I don't
oh
even know
yeah,
how
yeah,
many years, like millions
yeah,
and millions of people dead. No one talks about that. No one even cares about it. Like,
yeah.
it's crazy. It's like, okay, yeah, everybody's in war. I guess we need to think about it too. Like, I
Oh,
was
we're in
thinking
there too. Yeah,
today,
we're like we're
yeah,
attacking them.
yeah,
We're attacking
we're
them, which is
totally
like,
in there.
okay, I guess they're firing at our ships or cargo ships, whatever.
We're in
I
a
guess
war and
they,
they're not even saying
yeah,
it's a war. They're
I guess
attacking
they
our
should.
ships
Yeah,
and we're firing back.
I guess they should
And no
be
one's
attacked.
calling.
I guess I wish that we had a better understanding of who the hell Yemen and these rebels are and like what the fuck they both stand for, like, and why they are fighting each other and also taking shots at us. And like, anyway, well, the good news, everybody, is that pirates still exist because
Amen.
my belief is that if they didn't exist, it'd be like I want a world where pirates exist still,
Right.
somewhere, not near me,
Yeah.
but somewhere near people I don't
Because
know.
they're not cute. They're not like Johnny Depp. They're like, I am your captain now. And
Yeah,
not, that's not
I
like a
know.
cold,
Yeah,
that's not like a white
yeah.
or black thing. Like Johnny Depp dressed way more like less
Well,
aggressive.
maybe
Like,
if you're from like Senegal or whatever,
yeah.
It's
you
because
like,
everyone views the
right.
world through a pop culture lens. That's why, when
Yeah.
you hit with the real thing,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, I didn't sign up for this.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
saying if you
Yeah.
are from like the Congo and your ship gets taken by I'm your captain now guy, he might be kind of like like how you feel about Johnny Depp. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
I need some puffy sleeves. Like I need a puffy sleeve if you're gonna.
They should
That's
dress the
not what it looks
part.
like
If
though.
what you're
That's not
saying
what's
is they
going
should
on.
dress the part, yeah, I agree. I agree. If you're
If you're
saying
gonna
they should
take
wear the
over my
hats,
Disney cruise,
they
I
should wear
need
the
you in a
hats.
hat and some puffy ass sleeves.
That is that
True.
is only fair. It's only fair. This should be we should take this to the UN. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, yeah, because if there's no pirates in the world, then that means that 100% of the oceans, open seas are like scanned in real
Hmm.
time by world governments with laser beams able to like take out pirates anywhere. So
Do
it's
you
good
know
to
that
know
that's where
there's some
our
dark
cloud's at?
areas on the
The
oceans.
cloud is in the ocean. Did I tell you guys that last week? Because I just
What
found out about this. The
the
cloud,
computer,
Oh, they're
the
putting
the
servers
computers,
cloud,
underwater.
yeah, the
the
computers are
cloud
underwater.
Mhm.
it's in the ocean. It's not
Yeah.
in the sky. I just
Make,
pictured it in the sky. Like all my pictures are in the sky somewhere. They're not. They're in the ocean.
makes sense though.
My pictures are in the ocean.
It's in the ocean or like underground in the desert somewhere
Yeah.
That's why the Earth
in
is warming.
Iceland,
Yep.
under the
Did you
glaciers in
guys
Iceland or something.
did you guys see that whale video that I sent you of the whales doing the perfect whatever that's called?
The Fibonacci something something,
Yes.
The Fibonacci
Yes.
sequence. Is that what they were doing?
Yes.
which
So cool.
which is just more like a pattern, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So
not that
cool.
impressed by it, but I thought it was cool.
What?
I'm sorry. I love nature, but it's also, sometimes not that impressive.
Chris is so jaded, man.
I know, damn.
Well, because
He's on the list. He can't get soft now, Manny. He's got to stay hard for the FEMA camps. The FEMA camps are gonna
It's
suck him
cool looking,
out.
but it's like if you're like swimming in the water and you're going and you like swim in a circle, yeah, you're gonna just keep going. I don't know. Just saying.
There's like
I'm not sure who this
36
Fibonacci
whales
guy
in
is,
that
but I bet
video.
he
There's
was
like
not that cool.
36 whales doing the exact same thing to create this sequence. Like it's Manny, can you play that? Can you
I'm
share the
looking.
screen for people?
I'm sharing it. I mean, I'm looking for it. Hold on, give me a second.
I'm looking at this Fibonacci guy thinking he must have been a loser to get something like this named after him. Italian mathematician. All right.
Yeah, crazy. Well, I thought it was impressive. I think the ocean is full of all
Okay, I'm
kinds of
looking at the
secrets,
I'm
which is
looking
why
at
you
this
could never make
graphic.
me go in it or on a cruise on it.
What are we saying?
I'm
This guy
done.
invented the
I don't even think
seashell?
I'm going to the
I don't
ocean
think so.
anymore. It was like, let's go to Monterey. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. Not for me.
So he just really okay, it's just named after him because he described it.
Whatever. Show the video of the whales
Really.
doing it. That's the impressive part. It's like 90 whales at once
Well, I'm
doing
looking
this
at a picture of
sequence.
a plant doing it, an acorn doing it. Maybe I should share my screen. And just so you see that I'm looking at all kinds of things doing it.
All right, hold on. I got it.
Thank you, Manny.
Hold,
Jeez.
hold up.
I was being to it.
Look,
Yeah,
weather does it.
sure.
The galaxy does it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm looking
A
at your
seashell
tabs,
does
buddy.
it. Huh?
Yep.
Oh, it's okay. Um, somebody drew it.
His hat is
this is a
so
Star Wars.
weird.
This is
Why is
the
his
Star
hat like
Wars.
that?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he's goofy. He's goofy. I told you. I
Yeah,
told you.
goofy. That's a
This is a
Hotep
Star Wars. This is
goofy.
when in Star Wars when they were planning to attack the Death Star.
Okay.
There's
Manny,
this is some kind of
take over
pine
the
cone.
screen sharing.
Yeah, fine.
Let's see.
Sorry, I ruined Fibonacci's.
This is the cool part. The whales. So
Miss
cool.
the whales, everybody, the whales.
Oh my goodness. That's more than 36. How many is that?
That's just from one whale, isn't it?
No, it's not. That's so cool. Like, how is that even real?
So you're saying that each
That's a whale
whale,
coming out. Look it. They
yeah,
all
but
start cresting. They all start doing it. They're coming up. They're coming up from the different layers. It's
each
so
one of those can't be its
cool.
own whale.
I
Each
think
one
they
of them
were.
can't be a whale. There was two whales doing their own.
So fucking cool. You
So what I read in the description is that they were doing that to create air pockets to trap to lure fish so they could eat them.
okay?
Hmm.
Great. Makes them
Yeah,
better and cooler than us, and we shouldn't keep them in cages.
yeah, man. Fuck
You know what's
SeaWorld.
really cool? I probably talked about this before, but during COVID, there was a Disney documentary called like The Day the Earth Stood Still, something like that. Or the year the Earth stood still. It was basically about a year where there were no cruises in all the bays in Alaska where these whales go,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
but they were still studying them. And their behavior changed. Like they basically became more playful and like more talkative and like just
I
did more.
bet.
So just kind of
I bet.
fascinating.
Ban cruises, everybody. We're fucking things up for the
Man,
wildlife, for
I'm
the
just
ocean
say
life.
like they got to go somewhere else. Like the cruise ships aren't everywhere. Like go away from the cruise ships.
I feel like after seeing all that 9-month cruise and the Drake's Passage stuff, I feel like people are going to be less cruising. The pirates, I mean, pirates chasing a Disney cruise. Come on, shit's
Mm-hmm.
getting whack. I
I don't
feel like
know.
the cruise business is going to
They
lose a
got some
little
pretty
bit.
good deals, some pretty good drink packages.
Sure.
Yeah. All you can
Based
eat.
on some pirates might come jack your shit.
You can drive like you can like not even get off the ship. You can be under attack by pirates while
Yeah.
you are riding a Johnny Depp Pirate of the Caribbean roller coaster ride on a cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
That's next level right there. You can be
Glad
upside
you
down doing like
glad you
the
finished
roller.
that sentence. While you're writing Johnny Depp is that you, and then there was like a pause. I was like, wait.
Yeah, thanks for picking up
Too
on that.
funny.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
But
what
yeah,
she's here
you
for.
could be attacked by that's anyway. I think we moved on from the Houthi rebels, but that my advice to them earlier, if it wasn't clear, was to come over here, make things exciting.
Yeah,
Maybe take a couple sailboats, a couple like
please.
one of those fishing, like a fishing charter.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You're
Move up to
antagonizing them over here,
move up
man.
to a Disney cruise.
Watch out.
Stop taking pot shots at cargo ships full of goods coming to Walmart and Target.
If my sweatsuit doesn't arrive tomorrow, I'm gonna be
For real. I know there's so many Americans that are waiting for cheap Chinese products to get here
that's right.
so that we can look like each other in public, so that we can conform to each other's style. I
Not
mean,
me.
come on, come on.
Sometimes I will just be in the house, but still.
Not fair. It's not fair. Anyway, we better move on before Kwana gets upset about her sweatsuit again.
I
Well,
know.
I just want to I called it privately in my mind, but Vivek dropping out of the presidential race, I knew it was going to happen. He wasn't going to, Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever you want, however you,
Vivek,
yeah, Vivek.
Vivek like cake.
They
Yep.
Vivek. I was just like, man, this guy's going to drop out. Just
I like
watch.
him.
Just
I like
watch.
him. Yeah.
Just
Yeah, he
watch.
dropped out. So he dropped out after Iowa because he
Mhm.
finished in fourth place and supported Trump right away. That
But did you see the way he put his hand over Trump's face? Like I think that there was some
yeah, he's
drama
Was he
there.
trying to smack him in the face or what? What do you
I don't
mean? Like,
know.
he was
It
out.
was
He was too
weird.
excited. He was too excited.
Yeah,
I think he put
excited.
himself out of the circle of trust on that one.
Yeah.
wait, whose circle of trust? Trump's or what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You're not an either. Don't,
I guess not.
I'm
I'm
just
not
kidding.
part of the Trump trust
I'm
circle.
just kidding. No, I think he did something there
It's
because
fine by me.
Hey,
the feeling I got.
he's the Emmanuel that's replacing the Karens. Don't, you know.
No,
Oh,
but
he
like
dropped
there was
completely.
something about like Trump was standing there and Trump's, like a little bit tired out. I mean, he's under a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And Vivek's just like storming the countryside, like with his $800 million, like just with no cares in the world, just being, just like doing whatever he wants to do because he just doesn't care. Like
Right.
Yeah.
he doesn't have like 81 indictments. Like
Yeah. He's like, my wife still loves me. I
he's
still got to
not,
take
yeah,
my
he's
kids to
not,
soccer.
yeah, he's
Like,
not staring down the barrel like 200 years in prison and losing everything. So he could just like be like living it up, like living his best life out there, like Mr.
Right.
Popular with
yeah.
no consequences or no downside. And Trump is like, so he's just like Mr. Energetic talking about how great Trump is, but he's like at the same time, he's like stealing the show a little bit, like
A
a
little
little bit
bit.
too high energy. And
Yeah.
I could just for like a split second, I saw Trump like, all right, guy. All
Yeah.
right, guy.
Calm down, buddy.
Like
You little fucker.
in the back of his mind, Trump's thinking like, does this guy rent any property, rent anything in my buildings I can kick him out of right now? Yeah. So
Oh my God, that
so
picture
Trump
of
won.
Trump at his like when he was winning that was I think taken by the House and Habit lady. I think she might have taken that picture of him just like with the sweetest little face. Like, I don't know. I don't think people see him like a grandpa, you know what I mean? Like, but
The
he
people
just
who
had the
Whoever
meet
did.
sweetest
him,
little face, like a little winning face.
there was a guy on Megyn Kelly within the last few weeks that was talking about, and he'd met and interviewed all the presidents for the last 20, 30 years. And he would kind of compared Trump and Bill Clinton, not in maybe their policies, but just in the fact that when they are in a room, love him or hate him, like, and this particular journalist wasn't a real Bill Clinton fan, wasn't really a Trump fan, but like it
Right.
was like love him or hate him, like they make you like he was describing where like he would come to one of Trump's clubs and one of his parties, like he would come to every table and talk to every single person and he would
Yeah.
brag on every person at the
That
table.
sounds so exhausting.
But he would do it. And it was
she
like,
was
and
at
would
a
leave everybody at the table like, oh yeah, I don't know what just happened, but I feel really good about myself. Like, yeah, I am very successful. Like
Yeah.
I do look really handsome tonight. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She took a video of him. She was at a party at Mar-a-Lago, private party, and she took a video of him with his iPad. He was literally DJing the party. He was
Oh
the
yeah,
one
I've heard
playing
the
the
story.
music
Yeah.
on his little iPad. Like
Yeah, he
so
asked
cute.
people, like he literally at like you can't kind of imagine this because it's just so different, different from his public, like what he is now. Not
Yeah.
2015, but like, yeah, he'll ask them like, what do you want to hear? Like, what do you want to hear? What music do you want to hear?
Yeah.
And he's like controlling it.
So cute. So cute.
I mean,
Oh,
it's like I don't consider it that cute. I think it's kind of endearing, but at the same time I recognize it. It's also like just it's it's part of his drive. Like
Mhm.
it's not like a necessarily a charitable thing. Like, and
yeah.
same thing with Bill Clinton. Like, he didn't care about everybody. He really wanted everybody to like him.
Yeah.
And he would achieve that. Like, he would be in a room and he would talk to everybody and remember everyone's name, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
ask about everyone's kids and to where
Yeah.
you were just,
Obviously.
he made everyone, yeah. He would be like, are they mine? Like, have you done a
Yeah.
paternity test? We all clear.
Are
Like,
they
can't have
yeah.
any more
Yeah.
surprises. Like, Hillary will whack you.
Yeah.
But like, just they have that, both have that kind of persona.
Yeah, you're
Maybe
right.
Biden at some point did in smaller rooms, but now he's just, just a shell of a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, when you see him eating ice cream now, whereas maybe because I remember when he was running for president, they had that coloring book that came out, and it was like kind of had him like in his glasses, and there was like a picture of it was like an adult coloring book, and he
Yeah.
was like in his Corvette, and then
Hmm.
he like they kind of made him sexy, like yeah, like on a bomber jacket that you could color. I don't think that's. I
It
mean, now when you see
worked.
him eat ice cream,
Yeah,
you're
it
just like,
worked in the moment. It worked
yeah,
in 2020.
yeah. That's
And
how age is, though.
yeah.
Like you decline, like it's right. Like
Well, they hit it. I think they hit it pretty well. And it
yeah,
worked in 20. I mean, I meant it worked in 2020 as far as like you could get away with just taking a picture in a Corvette
sure.
and they would just kind of project out like, hey, everybody, this is sexy. Okay. Can
This
you
was an
all
adult
like Trump is
coloring
so
book.
terrible that that this is you please accept that
Yeah,
this is a
sexy.
virile sexy man
Yeah, he's Tom Cruise
who
with
can't
those
campaign
glasses with the
anywhere,
aviators.
who needs to stay inside, not go anywhere,
Uh, yeah, he's
who
gonna have
falls
an
over on
interview
his
with
bike.
Cardi B though in August.
Yeah, but yeah, they just and it worked for that brief period of time where
Yeah,
in all fairness, people were just so tired of Trump that they were like,
yeah,
okay, I'll buy into this, you know.
yeah.
But yeah,
Crazy.
he won Iowa, and so I guess Rachel
On to the
Maddow was
next.
upset.
Poor baby.
Joy Reid was upset that there's so many white Christians in Iowa.
Yeah.
They really need to
What do
diversify
they expect,
Shocking.
themselves.
man?
She's so
Right?
shocked.
Yeah, I think that
I was like, hold
it's
on,
like
stop the presses.
I think
I
that
know,
like
right?
as a just to make Joy Reid happy,
Yeah.
three out of every 10 Iowans should marry someone of color.
Yeah. She hates
Just
white people, but I'm gonna wear a blonde wig. Yeah. So great.
just to mellow out the color, just to like blend out the color a little bit of everybody's skin in Iowa, and then also like uh 4 out of 10 Iowa and white Christians should go Muslim. Yeah, just to make Joy Reid happy because we just don't need that many white Christians
Not
in Iowa.
all.
You know,
Yeah.
what's the solution to
Crazy.
that? Like, what's the when you say something like that? Like, what's your solution? Like,
People hate Jesus. Like it's crazy, right?
what's the
He's
solution to
there,
like what's this?
borderline blaspheming. Anyway,
Yeah, they do.
They
Or they just don't
do.
they don't like Christian they don't like white people so much that they reject whatever they were even the faith they were brought up in, because I'm sure
Yeah.
Joe Reed was not brought up like that, but
Yeah.
um yeah, that hatred of like whatever. I mean, it goes both ways too, like people hate
Hate
other
Joy
sides,
Reid.
whatever. Yeah, but yeah, so that part, yeah, Joy Reid Pirates, like Trump's back in court. this week. He's
Oh
being
my
seen
God, that
by
lady. What is she so creepy? Do you hear her thing about rape? She's like, it's sexy.
yeah, she's said a bunch of real weird
She's so
stuff.
weird. I say weird stuff. I
Yeah.
can't help the weird stuff that comes out of my mouth. I know I say weird stuff. She is
All that
so weird.
all that is like all the weird stuff is like I don't really care. Yeah, like she can be a fruitcake and say all kinds of weird stuff about like what is like rape. She said rape is sexy or something. Like people
Yeah.
fantasize about it. She's just says a lot of weird stuff, but it's like the problem with the whole case is that there's just no proof at all. Like there's just
Yeah.
no, it's literally like it is literally
He apparently
30
raped
years
her at
ago, he said,
Bergdorf's.
she said. I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't do it, right? I mean, I
I
don't.
am.
I'm not going to be,
I
you
am.
know, just for sake of argument, I'd just say like there's celebrities out there that, I mean, Alec Baldwin just shoots someone in cold blood, kill someone in cold blood. It's like, hey, I'm not going to put anything past any other celebrity.
Sure.
It's a subject for another day, but like I wasn't there,
Amen.
but it's like you do have to actually prove these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can't
Well,
just be
not with
like, this happened
that
30 years
judge. That judge
ago.
has like he has a real
Yeah.
whatever for him. It's so weird with his weird teeth and mouth.
Yeah.
Like he's like so angry. Gosh, I swear everything just feels like a weird movie. Like all of the characters that are just like,
They're playing some wicked lawfare, really wicked, because the only reason she was able to file those charges is because after like the whole Me Too thing, they did like New York did like a moratorium on the
yeah,
statute of limitations, the
yeah.
statute and the statute of limitations, both.
I love that he was
I
in
want to
court.
make a
And one of the
statue
things
of
was,
limitations. Just a sidebar. I would like to in my backyard erect a statue of limitations.
what would it be? Explain it to me.
I'm not even sure. I would just say instead of being a statute, instead of
Yeah.
a
But
statue of
what would the
limitations.
statue be? What would the limitations be? A bag of
I
Cool
have to
Ranch
think about that.
Doritos? What are we limiting?
Limitations.
It's just gonna be somebody struggling to reach into the air for something like
Yeah, it would be like a mime under a glass roof, like a mime,
I like it.
really pitiful mime.
In a box.
Yep. No, not a box, just
Yeah.
under.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's good.
slowly
It's
being
good.
crushed.
but yeah, so then
Good.
she was able to file this lawsuit, not even like a criminal charge, but like a lawsuit. So he's never been criminally found guilty of this, just like legally, like civilly liable for the damages from sexually assaulting her. But
Mhm.
it's like, I mean, again, like, I hope
This
it didn't
trial, though, is
happen.
about
I did hope it
him
didn't
saying that
happen,
he
but
would never do it, right? Isn't that what this one's about? And
yeah,
saying she
sorry.
was
Yeah. Yeah. So
too ugly to fuck or
he already lost the first trial where they found him
Damn.
liable. They found him liable for sexual assault, so he had to pay her. And then after that, he was just like, "Yeah, she's,
this
look,
ugly
he said
bitch.
something how bad." So then she sued him again for defamation. It's like
And while on
it's a
trial, when he
joke.
left Iowa that morning, apparently, because he left Iowa in the middle of the night, was in New York the next day on trial, he tweeted like 21 of her tweets
Yeah, yeah.
of
Oh yeah,
things that
yeah.
she have
All of
said that
right,
were
that's so yeah,
so inappropriate, like the weirdest, creepiest
yeah.
things. Like
Again, like
he had to delete
okay,
them.
like
They're
she could
gone.
be.
I went to look for them,
It's
but they're
fine.
gone.
She can be crazy. Like she can be crazy, and like some people, like get assaulted, and it kind of turns them crazy. Again, whatever. I'm just saying, like she's free to go out
Yeah.
there and write a book and to say that he
Yeah.
did this and all that. But the fact that a court can just be like with no evidence, she can't even remember when it happened, what date,
Yeah.
um, can just be like, oh yeah, yep. Hey
It
man,
was him.
you owe her 5 million. No, they're not even like it was just like you're liable. We're not saying you raped her, you're liable for this. It's just okay,
Crazy. Yeah.
not
Enough.
good. And it's like, the threat is that it can go the other way. But the truth is it won't, because the people on the other side of the aisle, I mean, to be a fair, like conservatives, at least for a long time, at least in their mindset now, is like that's not really what we want to do. Like we're
Right.
kind of the reason we're angry is because you won't leave us alone. So we
Right.
really would, at this stage, our goal is for us just to leave each other alone. So
Yeah.
I think the other side hasn't quite turned to, oh, you're not going to leave us alone. Well, now we're gonna play your games. But man, anyway, that's just crazy. Like, there's just no proof. Like, I'm
It's
again not saying
crazy.
it didn't happen. Like, and she should be able to go out and say it did happen and like go on CNN every night and just accuse him of the worst things in the world. She could be free to
Isn't
say
the
that.
other
Like,
DA that's prosecuting him though too, like also in trouble? Like it seems like all of the stuff that's against him. And I mean, I know that the sides are saying that like there's all kinds of stuff against him, but like isn't the black lady that was hiring all her boyfriends to
yeah, that's
also
probably going to fall all apart. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, that's so the big question is, in a certain phone call sentence, did Trump tell or threaten the
yeah,
someone in Georgia to overturn an election? I personally don't think so, but that's
right,
kind of like at some point it's going to have to be decided, like, was this
right,
a crime or not, this sentence.
yeah,
But the woman, the DA of Fulton County, I think, which just happens to be a huge county with like huge amount of people, a huge district, so a lot of power.
right,
She filed these like RICO charges, which are like what they do with gangsters.
right.
Not just like you tried to over, but like it was like you entered into a
Yeah,
criminal conspiracy with the other co-conspirators to do this and this and that. And okay, that's what she's doing. But it turns out that she's a little bit um, got some baggage.
a little bit of baggage.
She was banging. I guess she was
Married.
the lead prosecutor. I don't know if she's married or not, but the lead prosecutor of that was, lead investigator of the whole Trump thing. It was her boyfriend, and he got paid 650K over I don't know, a year, 2 year period to do this investigation. And then like I think today, like his credit card statements came out where he was buying them cruise tickets, and him and his boss were going taking cruises and vacations.
So crazy.
Which at okay, so
What world
Color
are
me
we living in?
shocked.
best case
Right?
scenario, like so, it's possible that the worst thing that happens is just like really inappropriate behavior.
Right.
It's possible, but I mean, it just kind of goes to show that they used someone with questionable judgment. Maybe they even knew that. Maybe they even knew that something was going on. They used someone to bring these charges against him and everybody that knows him in Georgia.
Right.
There was like a rap. This is like a rapper, like a producer, like a rapper producer or something like that,
Uh-huh.
who just was like one on his team of trying to like get out
Not
the
a rapper
vote.
producer.
They tried to rap producer, rapper slash, I mean, it's rapper slash. Come on, aren't you with it? Like they do both. They're multi talented.
Doctor.
Um,
So it was Dr. Dre, basically, what you're saying.
yeah,
Dr. Dre. It was
that's
Dr. Dre.
it was one of the doctors.
It was implied.
But yeah, even that one of those guys got wrapped up in these RICO charges. But they just again they use someone that with questionable judgment, with baggage, with probably with that could be blackmailed
Mm-hmm.
to bring that whole thing. And there's just so much to take in. So I try to think about the biggest bullet points. The whole RICO charges and the whole Georgia case came about at the same time that Hunter was showing up to court to do that plea deal.
Right.
The original plea deal that was supposed to be just the best sweetheart deal ever that would give him full immunity from pretty much every crime ever.
Mm-hmm.
It fell apart, but at that week, it was all timed.
Right.
And the prosecutor was
So
in
many
the White House.
coincidences.
Yeah, the
So many
prosecutor
coincidences.
that was doing this was at the White House, I think at least twice.
Sure. Sure.
Just but like it's just I don't know where we're
All
going.
coincidences. All
Mm-hmm.
coincidences. Just a wild, wild world we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Manny?
These are the people that we voted into office, everybody. Well, not me.
We.
I've always
I always
voted
think
third
like
party,
if
but
we,
that's not the important part.
yeah, I
No, but what
always
were you gonna
think
say,
like
Quana?
if we really, I just don't think if our votes matter that they would let us do it. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like they kind of control everything. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Oh,
I think the only
my
thing we have
lord.
going for us in this country is that we can we'll do crazy stuff like
Mm.
that. That's the only thing going for us is, in all honesty, like all the January 6th people acting out, that
Yeah.
that kind of helps. If you're going to be real honest, like, you know, the summer of love, 2020,
I was gonna say in
all
comparison,
those people
This
acting out,
summer.
all those
yeah,
people acting out. I mean, it's kind of like they weren't acting out on my behalf, and I didn't like why they were acting
right.
out, but it keeps,
Yeah,
it's it reminds like the powers that be that you don't really know what's going to set us off.
Mhm.
We might go riot this weekend, or we might go to Target and buy a bunch of pink Stanley, $40 tumblers that we don't need. Like
There's
you
different
don't
kinds of
you don't
rioting
know.
going
Yeah,
on.
like
cheers, motherfuckers.
you don't know what we're gonna do. We're unpredictable. And yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. But yeah, just that
Trying to say
sometimes
it's
those things are
Friday,
good.
Craig.
Yep.
Lighten up. We don't have to worry about all this stuff. I don't think we were supposed to know all this stuff. I think life was so much easier when it wasn't a constant feed of all of the debauchery that's going on in our
There's probably a
Congress.
point in human history. I think there was up till a point in human history not that long ago. That's how people lived. Like they were just like nonstop worried.
Mhm.
Like if you had like a season's worth of food, that was like
It's a different kind of
Luxury.
edge to be
that was
on.
like having $1 million in your 401k is just having like
Completely wiped out.
food through the
Yeah.
winter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that was like the best security you could hope for was like a year out.
Yeah. That's
Like
what they're saying. Like people like they're saying you have to have it together for like the first 36 hours or something, or ugh, get you a what was that rechargeable flashlight that they were advertising on Fox News the other day? I'm like, how is a rechargeable flashlight even something that they're trying to sell and to like where are you going to charge it?
They're
Where are
trolling
you
you,
charging
man. They're
it?
trolling you. That's what they're
yeah,
doing.
Oh,
I don't know. Some people have
crazy.
generators. Like I look at generators and
Sure. I bought one of those solar panels, like a little solar panel.
things like that are, yeah, really handy to have, like the little
Yeah,
cell phone solar panel. I mean, it takes a while, but at least you have power. But that's really
right.
temporary because if the cell towers aren't working, it's not really going to matter. Like you better look at pictures on your phone, I guess. You'll be able to talk to anybody
That's
else, but you'll be able to look at like your camera roll. You'll be able to
sure.
look at your memes, when the grid
Oh,
goes down.
thank God. That's all that's gonna
You'll still be able
matter
to
for
charge your
Robbie.
phone. You'll be able to charge your
Oh,
phone so you can look at memes, but
It's like, oh, my sweet, sweet memes. This will hold me over till no.
here's another meme I had about the end of the world and the grid going, oh, geez, yeah, it just happened.
It's all just a cruel turn of fate.
I can't even
Why?
send this meme to anybody.
I know.
Be like, you see, I was right.
This whole thing, we were cursed.
Yep.
well,
All right. So we got any more topics you want to cover or
well, I want to know since you're a football fan here, what's up with this Detroit game? I don't know. What is it?
oh
Yeah, and the
oh, it's
weather
just kind of
is
this is probably pretty sexist, but yeah, the this is quick. The head coach of the Buccaneers is going to play in Detroit against the Detroit Lions. And
mm,
this past weekend there were some really heavy, crazy weather games.
right.
That's in everybody's mind. But so a lady reporter asked the head coach if she thought the weather. She kind of went on a little bit about the weather and the 13 degrees and this and that, and then it asked like if he thought that was going to be a factor in the game, and he was
Hmm.
just like well,
Unfazed.
we play indoors, right? Because in Detroit they play in a dome, they have for decades.
Yeah.
And it's like she was kind of it was like AI. It's like this is real life like real life humans are becoming AI.
NPCs, they're just giving.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's a better way to put it. But it's like she was just like thinking about, well, there were weather games last week.
Mhm.
So there were a lot of questions about the weather. And we're going to Detroit. Let me look at a map. Well, Detroit's up there. Well, yeah, that's cold.
Cold,
It's cold.
cold as hell.
Let me get my weather app out of my iPhone. Like Detroit. Oh, it's cold. But, okay, so but the formula says ask
Yeah.
coach question about weather impacting the game.
Cut two. We play indoors.
So
And I swear for a
crazy.
split second he was just like,
Is she okay?
well, he
Yeah.
was I think he was just like, should I just like start going in on this woman?
Yeah. Thank God it was a woman
Like,
because
should
he
I just
probably
end?
held back a little
Yeah.
bit, right?
Oh yeah,
Out of
yeah. Oh yeah.
respect.
That's right. If it was a man, he would have been like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Turn into
Are you
him.
fucking crazy?
Yeah, like everybody, like take a picture of this man. Get up, like let's take a selfie for the stupidest
Yeah.
question in the world. He would have just destroyed it.
Exactly.
But for a
Exactly.
split second, he was just like, I better let this lady I'm gonna give this lady a pass. So he was like, we play indoors, right? And it was like one Mississippi, two Mississippi, and he was like, uh, but no, 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 I don't think it'll have a factor. No, I think we'll be all right. It's like next question. He just decided I'm gonna let her go.
He was nice. He was really nice about it. She has to live with that forever. That's forever for her. With her forever.
Well,
Ugh.
the thing that would in the past it would not live her with her forever because she would leave that job in an arena,
Right.
like,
Right.
like, and then like live the rest of her life trying to forget that moment.
Right.
Right.
Like get as far away from asking football coaches questions about things and weather as possible.
It doesn't go away.
But in
though.
but in 2024, she's got a contract and she's going to be there every game. Like she's got a contract with CBS Sports or whatever network it is, and they can't fire her. They can't fire her.
They'll just shuffle her around. It's like we'll find her some place for her to land.
It would be kind of sexist to fire her, right? I mean, it's not her
I feel
fault
like in
that she
her
has
house,
no idea
though,
what she's talking
sometimes
about.
like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Like, you know what I
I
mean?
hope so. I hope so.
Well, if
Like I said,
anything,
it's not her fault. She has no idea what she's talking about, is it?
Yeah. No, it's
I mean, Disney's in much bigger trouble financially, so they could just be like, you know what, we had to let go of a lot of staff, and that way they don't even have to come off looking sexist.
She better hope that there's not any kind of like, that the numbers are good.
ESPN levels of firing going on.
Yeah,
She's out.
dude.
She's out.
That was funny. That was
Out.
funny.
But
All
I
right,
think
y'all.
we could
It's
bring
Friday,
it on
Craig.
home.
Okay.
Yeah. Hotep.
That's good.
I'm gonna go listen. I'm gonna go finish my Hotep podcast.
Did you listen to any?
Yeah, I listened last week. I'm in love. I love the jam, the music before, like the going in music.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
learn
funny.
all the words to that. And I love that you say goofy. Now when you say goofy, I understand what you mean. I'm in. I'm fully immersed. Big fan.
That's yeah, some fans made that, I think, for them.
So good.
Before one of their like they have like a Hotep con. They
were talking about what they're gonna wear this week. They were talking about
that's for the Grifties. That's for the Grifty Awards. They do annual Grifty Awards where they basically pick out like the biggest grifters. Like I think last year maybe Ukraine or Zelensky won.
I love it.
He was a finalist last year at least. Zelensky.
I love it. Yeah, it's once a week. I can listen to that. I got
like
time.
They nominate people like Candace Owens, Zelensky for grifters. It's pretty funny.
You had said that like, oh, maybe you won't like it takes a while for them to get into it or whatever because they're just shooting the shit. But I could listen to people.
Yeah, it's kind of like you learn little. It takes a little while, but you learn little tidbits, and it's just got an interesting take on all things. So
I'm in. I'm all in. I love it.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for the support, everybody.
Do what you want.
Happy Friday.
Get it on, everybody.
Yep.